Please stay seated. Please stay seated. We have a special guest to lead us in the pledge today, and I want to introduce her, Katarina Scher. There she is. So Katarina is a friend of mine, and we normally have a Rotarian start us off with the pledge, but Katarina, what's your connection to Rotary?
I was an exchange student in 94, 95 in Ohio, and now I guess the connection is you.
And we know each other because we both do kickboxing together. Oh. And you went and got your law degree, and you've come to the United States. You're married to an American and have a couple of daughters. Is that right?
Yep.
But you are from Sweden.
Right. I'm from Sweden.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you're an American now?
Since 3 weeks. Yeah.
So you've been an American for 3 weeks. Have you ever led the Pledge of Allegiance before?
I have not.
So, our former exchange student, our newest American, please stand as she leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Jean.
And please keep standing just for 2 minutes more. We'll have the four-way test. And again, it is often the traditional four-way test, but my colleague Danny, who works with middle school and high school and little peeps, has developed a kids four-way test. And read the words because it's so much simpler and so much more logical than our own. Danny, will you lead us?
So you're going to forget all about the four-way test because it's the 4 awesome questions from here on out. Ready? Before you think, say, or do something, ask yourself, is it true? Is it fair to everyone? Will it build friendships? Will it be good for everyone? Way to go.
You may be seated. All guest Rotarians from other clubs, would you please stand? Okay.
Thank you, Jean. My guest today is Pete Parkinson. Pete's been visiting our club. I think this is his third visit, and had the chance to get to know a few of our members, and we have a proposal to submit to the board. So welcome, Pete.
Wonderful.
Pete.
My guest is Matt Isola, and I'm going to let him say something.
Hello, everyone. I'm a member of the Boulder Flatirons Rotary Club, so thank you for having me. I am just finished up my master's at CU last month, and now I work for myself as a technology coach and consultant. My goal is to make technology more friendly for everyone. So I do private coaching, and also I put on workshops. Actually, Steve probably mentioned it last week. Through the University of Colorado, we hold workshops where we take anyone who's looking to get better at technology, pair them up one-on-one with a college student where you can ask pretty much any question you have about any device. So we actually have a workshop coming tomorrow, then there are 2 spots left if anybody would like to sign up. Thanks.
Erin.
I'd like to introduce, for the second time this year, my guest, Bryn Grunwald. And some of you might have remember her from the spring. Bryn graduated this year with an undergraduate, a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, and a dual degree in international affairs. And now she's enrolled in her master's program at CU in engineering. And she did a great summer internship in DC, very prestigious with the Department of Commerce and the energy area. And her thing, Department of Energy. And her thing is renewables. So, and she's also a recipient of our Boulder Rotary Exchange Program. She went to the Philippines, and that was through our club years ago. So help me welcome her.
Nancy.
Good afternoon. This is my guest, Melissa Wolak. Okay, sorry, Jean. So this is my guest, Melissa Wolak. I met her recently a couple of weeks ago, and she's a mindset and executive coach, and she works with individuals and companies to incorporate mindfulness, stress management, and anything you need to help you up here. Thank you.
Please help me welcome my guest, Lynn Johnson. Lynn grew up in upstate New York and came out to Colorado in '84 to join the faculty at UC Denver. And he retired in 2012 and is involved in volunteering, which is how we met, Meals on Wheels.
Thanks, sir.
This is Carl's and my very dear friend, Judy Franklin Hartley, and Judy's grandfather and father were both members of Rotary, of this Rotary, and so she wanted to know if there was a legacy opportunity here.
Thanks. And over here.
Hello, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce my friend, Austin McGuire, Irish-American, who was a very successful global president of Splendor, a chemical engineer initially in the oil and pharmaceutical area. Very pleased that after his career, he has moved to Fort Collins to help with a startup there. And he and his wife, Mary, are very involved in the Wounded Warrior Project and looking to extend and make friendships here in the Boulder area. But I must say, Austin's real claim to fame is being a very fast racing car driver. We have much great times together at the SCCCA Autocross Racing. So please come and introduce yourself to Austin. Thank you.
I'm pleased to introduce my wife, Judy Schilling. She is a former tennis partner of our speaker today.
Bill.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome two brand new friends I just met. They're visiting. Scott, want to look at the camera? First one is Scott Hancock. Scott's involved in the technology industry. Is got a number of ventures going, and like our next guest is just here to see the club. And the second guest is Frank Deck. Frank is also involved in a lot of different ventures. He indicated to me one of the things he's very active in is martial arts. I suggested you might want to talk to our illustrious president, who is involved in something that I can never pronounce. And anyway, Frank is also getting ready to go back to school to get his master's. And his grandparents were both actively involved in Rotary, which is why he's here today. See what it's all about. Please welcome Frank and Scott.
Are you still claiming to be a guest? Honestly. There you go. How are
you? As soon as she finishes, we'll do this here. My guest is Jeannie Thompson, my wife, and technically we should be sitting at the next table over, the birthday table. 2 days ago, Jeannie's birthday. Her birthday present today is that she gets to hear our speaker.
Jeannie wanted to hear Jean.
Here? Marty?
I'm pleased to welcome back Kimberly Fells. You might need to look at Mickey over there, or John, rather. You can tell that Kimberly works with RE/MAX because she always wears something that says RE/MAX and is very interested in joining our club. We're hoping that the membership application will be coming along soon. And then to her left is Linda Gregory. Linda and I have known each other over a handful of years looking at dollars and cents. And she's now with a different financial group, BRC. And we had breakfast not too long ago, and we're talking about Rotary, and so here she is, and we're hopeful that this is something that she would like to add to her busy schedule. So welcome to Kimberly and to Linda.
You're going to have to stand up. You've been sitting this whole time. And look at the camera. This is my guest, Bev Campbell. She and I worked together at Boulder Community Hospital, and she was a Rotary recipient to Australia a number of years ago. She said just a few years ago, but she doesn't remember how many. Thanks, Ben.
And Erica is my new friend and my guest today. She is from Sweden. You were an exchange student as well, or no?
Scholarship student, but almost the same thing.
Okay, all right, almost the same thing. All of her family has been involved in Rotary. We met through Katarina, and once I threw out the word Rotary, she's like, I love Rotary. I'd love to know more about Boulder Rotary, so she's our guest here today. Thank you, Erica.
Are there any guests or Rotarians that we've missed? Enjoy your day today.
All right, welcome to all of you. So we have Sue Deans. Well, Sue Deans is coming up. I have this beautiful photo of the most beautiful people in the world to show you. All right, look at that group of people. 100th year photo. So this is our 100th year. Every week we're having a new chapter, new vignette talking about our 100 years of history. This week, Sue Deans.
Thank you. That picture was amazing. We were all out there with that drone over our heads. Very cool. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some gentlemen that I've been cribbing their work for the last few weeks. A lot of the material that you've been hearing from me has been compiled by these two folks that you'll be seeing on the screen in a few minutes. Frederick O. Replier was the first. Apparently nobody had compiled a history of the Rotary Club in its first 38 years. And in the 39th year, he took that on. Usually it's done every 25 years, but I guess they were busy. In fact, there isn't very much information available about that era. So he had been president of the club in 1942 and 43, and in 1956 he was asked to update the club's history. Rep was born in New York in 1896, and that's actually John, that is Fred Rep. Sorry, they look sort of alike. Rep was born in New York in 1896. He graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy in 1918 and served until 1922 when he moved to Boulder. He and his wife, Margaret, one of the first women to earn a law degree at CU, built what was called a landmark house in 1930 at 1302 Baseline Road. And those of you who know Lou and Nina Frauenfelder, they live there now. They bought it from the Repliers and have lived there ever since. With the Rotary classification of short story writer, Rep wrote for magazines and other publications. He served on the Board of Education from 1941 to 1956 and published a book, As a Town Grows, about Boulder schools. A small street in North Boulder near Columbine School and Columbine Park bears his name. He died in 1976 at age 80. The other historian, John B. Schooland, updated the club's history from 1956 to 1969. He came from Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he attended Calvin College, later getting a bachelor's degree from the University of Michigan, a master's from Columbia, and a doctorate from Duke. He joined the faculty at CU in 1929 as a professor of psychology and retired in 1962. He and his wife, Bee, raised 2 children in Boulder. He was also a historian and photographer who published several editions of a book called Boulder Then and Now, which I bet many of you have seen. He would update early Boulder photos by Rocky Mountain Joe Sturdivant with pictures he took from the same vantage point to see how much things have changed. He had gotten his first camera at age 10 and learned photography from his father. He was also a railroad buff, and he wrote about the Switzerland Trail, the narrow gauge train from Boulder into the mountains. And he led fundraising efforts to buy its engine, Old Number 30, which used to be located in Central Park. He died in 1989 at the age of 93. Thanks to these illustrious Rotarians for preserving so much of our history. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. So, I don't know, for me personally, I get my cell phone bill, my garbage collection, my electric bill. They send me a bill. 10 days later, they take it out of my bank account or my credit card. And I'm here to tell you that if you want, this is kind of a new service for our members, you have that option here at the club as well. Completely optional. Every quarter, you get your member statement, and it, of course, has your dues, your meals and facility charges, and any other charges you might have. The old-fashioned way of writing a check and dropping it off or mailing it is still there. So I want you to know that that's absolutely an option. For some of you, you might want the option that 10 days after the quarter and 10 days after you get your statement to have it automatically charged to your credit card or to your bank account. So Wendy has the forms if you would like to fill them out. We'll also email you the form later on this weekend, and you can just fill it out and hand deliver it, okay, to Wendy. Don't just leave it on the table or anything, since it's got your private information on it. But I just wanted to give you that additional convenience for you as a member. So a lot of people have been asking for that. It's the 21st century. We figured, what the heck. So, raffle. If you have a raffle ticket, pull it out, because I've got a winning number right here. Are you ready? 8, 2, 7, 4, 0, 7. Okay, who's got it so far? 1. Yeah, we have a winner. Stand up. Yeah, okay, good deal. Introducing our speaker is Gordon Gamm. Please come on up. Bill Meyer, would you mind coming up with Jim Umlin and David Driscoll? And Marty, if you could come up as well, right behind them, on deck. Good?
Yeah. And who's the one we talked about the other day? Where guys? Oh, over here?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Did I say that? If so.
Hey, everybody. So hopefully many of you already know Dave Driscoll, who has come through the Red Badge process. By background, he's a litigation attorney at Hutchison, Black & Cook here in Boulder, and a past president of the Boulder County Bar. He's been selected as a Colorado super lawyer and recognized as one of the best lawyers in America. Between 78 and 80, he served as a legislative aide to Congressman Timothy Worth in Washington. But outside of his legal practice here in Boulder, he is a past chair of the city's Transportation Advisory Board, and is the current board chair of Commuting Solutions, a Louisville-based nonprofit working with the private and public sectors to address inadequacies in our transportation systems in the county and along Route 36. He's a past board member of the Colorado Legal Aid Foundation and has long been committed to public service throughout his career. He's joined Rotary because of his commitment to serving the community. During his initial months of this Red Badge period, David's joined the Programs Committee and is looking for other ways to participate in Rotary in the months ahead. And as a regular attendee of the Red Badge breakfasts monthly, he's getting plied with lots of great information about opportunities in our awesome club. So David, and Bill Meyer is his sponsor, and we want to thank you, Bill, for bringing David along. Thank you, Bill. All right. The gold star. Bill.
Hey, we got a blue badge for you, everybody. There you go. You got to take this one off. Okay, you put that new one on. Yeah, you are. You are. Yeah, just go on. Come on up.
Each installation time that we have this year, it was Friday, July 13th. We do the awards for the year. As it turned out, there were two of our recipients who were not in the area, and one of them does happen to be here today. So this particular award is called Quick Start. You've heard us talk about how it's important for every project program that we have to have a champion. And this particular new member had an idea, which was confirmed and corroborated by other colleagues. Said, you know, we've got this congressional, I don't know, some voting coming up, and maybe we should consider having a panel about it. They said, yeah, it's a good idea. So he sets about contacting a whole big bunch of people, gets involved with the Boulder Valley Club, and long about, what was that, Carl Kurtz, where are you? Would you please come forward? What date was that congressional debate? Was that May? I think it was May. Anyway, in recognition of your enthusiasm, your commitment, your cussing and discussing with all sorts of folks to get great representation. I think you had everybody who was a candidate involved in that forum. So on this plaque it says, Quick Start presented to Carl Kurtz in recognition of a new Rotarian who, through his actions, has shown a strong commitment to the ideals of our club. Congratulations, Quick Start, July 2018.
Little surprise.
Okay, George, you got some birthdays? We got some birthdays going on. No, it's perfect. No, okay, turn the microphone on. There we go.
My 60th high school reunion, I was sitting with a friend at a table. We were talking, and we looked over, and the guy said, "Who is that?" And this woman was sitting over there just drinking one. She was drunk and stuff. And I said, "Well, that," and I mentioned her name. I said, "You know, she was a cheerleader, and we dated when I was a senior, and we broke up when I went away to college." And the guy says, "Gosh, that's a long time for her to be celebrating." We have two birthday people here today. Lanny Pinchuk. Lanny doesn't want to say anything, but
I didn't want to say anything. I'm 86 as of September the 11th, which is a day. Hi, Bev. Good to see you. Which is a date which lives in infamy, and I didn't want to say anything about my birthday because it doesn't live in infamy. It just lives, and I appreciate it very much. Wonderful group of people.
it's Willie's birthday also. Willie Kinnear.
For over 30 years, I wanted to be a part of Rotary Club. But in teaching, noontime is a pretty closed group of people with young people. And for the last 4 years, I have been just delighted to live out my goal of being a part of Rotary Club. And you're the best. Thank you.
I have one ticket. It's on the 48-yard line for the game tonight. The only problem is you have to sit with me. If anybody wants it, just contact me later. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you, George. Thank you. Happy birthday. So you may have heard that we have our signature event, November 3rd. Sponsorship opportunities are on the back of the agenda in case you're curious about that. This is where we raise our money. It's a fundraiser. Last year we raised over $115,000. Most of that put right back into our community. A little over $70,000 for youth programs. But we also gave money towards, many other things, international programs, things of that nature. And this is the opportunity to do it. So please see Nancy Chin Wagner if you would like to be a sponsor. And so that being said, we have another video. We good? Announcements.
Hello, Rotarians and guests, and welcome to the Rotary Club announcements for September 28th, 2018.
Hey, have you joined Club 1919 yet? Well, we've had a successful kickoff to the Centennial Campaign, and now we're seeking donations of $191.91 or greater. Our goal for this fundraising campaign is 100% participation from club members.
Funds raised will support 3 legacy projects that align with club initiatives in the areas of peace building, water and sanitation, and mental health.
Rocking it. And they've added a new literacy program last spring, joining with Boulder Public Library to provide books and delivery service to homebound patrons. Ruth Irvin, Norris Hernsmeyer, and Darla Sheep have already been trained, and they'd like you to join them in the training, which is Wednesday, October 17th from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Boulder Public Library. Contact Darla with any questions.
Our next World Community Service meeting will be Friday, October 19th at 10:45 at the JCC. It'll be our first World Community Service workshop that will define the future directions of our activities.
And don't forget that the Rotary Book Club and Jancy Campbell are going to host the Rotary Book Club meeting on Monday, October 8th at her home. You better get reading if you want to attend. Call Evelyn Wood if you need help. And 2 important trainings from District 5450.
The WASH Symposium, otherwise known as Water and Sanitation and Health, will be held on October 6th from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. This symposium focuses on WASH and healthcare facilities and emerging technologies. Rotary Leadership Institute, RLI, is a great way to learn more about Rotary and get engaged. RLI includes 3 courses, 6 sessions each that build upon each other. Register now for the October 13th class.
Hey, I saw it on Facebook, so it must be true. The Rotary Club Happy Hour is on Tuesday, October 2nd from 5 to 7 p.m. at Element Bistro in Gun Barrel. Come on out. It's going to be a great time.
Next week's program is October 5th, and it's the CU Opera Singers.
That's going to be awesome. That concludes the PowerPoint announcement. Oh, wait, it's a video now. What the heck do we call it? Anyways, everybody say it with us. Have a great weekend.
Great. One announcement or one need that did not make it into the video for this week, and we're hoping if you would raise your hand. We have a journaling program. This is 3rd grade students where our members are paired up with a student, and you have this journal. You write, and it goes back and forth. So you write what's going on in your life. You give it to them. They write what's going on in their life, back and forth. We have a Korean-speaking 3rd grader who they would like to pair up. So if anyone speaks Korean or writes Korean, that would be great. But you might say, I don't, but I want to be involved. Would you be willing, if there's anybody here, willing to work with a CU translator who would help out? So it's going to take a little bit more than your normal journaling, a little bit of extra time. So we kind of need someone in the next couple days. Is that right, Pam? So Bobby Brown, what's that? As soon as possible. Like, okay, Bobby Brown, thank you. Thank you. We needed that. Okay, I just want to say thank you to our past president greeter, Bill Meyer, our red badge greeter, Dick Golden. A member and guest registration was Judy Pitt, Glenn Larson, and Tom Chesney. And kind of my last, these are people who really help bring the meeting together. The last thank you that I'd like to give is I just realized there were 2 or 3 opportunities this last month where after the meeting, people stayed, for like 20, 30 minutes. They were sitting here talking. And I was like, wow, that's great. I love it when we have a club where it's not just meetings, not just committee meetings, but people who actually enjoy each other. Same thing happened at Red Badge. Today, I got here early because I'm supposed to run the meeting, and there were all these people having committee meetings and I could watch them, and they're having big smiles on your face. And so I'm very grateful to be a part of a club like that. So let's go ahead and change the world, one little bit at a time. So that being said, have a great weekend.